Hi everyone, welcome to the day 9 session on Java. So in the previous session we learned about the object-oriented programming, few more concepts related with the inheritance, the overriding, overloading, not overloading actually, overriding mechanism, and today also final keyword. And today we will be learning two more topics, that is abstract. Okay, abstract and interfaces. Oops, okay. So this is what we are going to learn today. I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Okay, great. So let's start Eclipse. But before that, I hope you remember what is final keyword. Let's quickly revise what is final keyword. Final keyword. Can anyone tell me if I make class as final, what will happen if I make final class? Very good, Farhan. So if you have a final class, you cannot inherit that class, you cannot extend that class. Okay, perfect. So this means the class is not made for inheritance if you are marking that class as a final. Okay, you don't want the class to participate in inheritance part. So there is another use of a final was like if you make method as final, then what will happen? If you make method as a final, so this is going to stop overriding. The derived class cannot override the final method. Thank you guys. Thank you very much for your response. And there was one more thing, that is a final with a variable. So final variable makes actually a constant. Let's talk about abstract. Thanks to Shrujit Farhan. Let's talk about abstract keyword. It's a keyword, okay, just like a final. And the use of abstract keyword is opposite to final. Abstract keyword, it is little bit opposite to a final. So let me tell you again, there could be two things. One is abstract method. If you have an abstract method, that means, okay, that means this method must be overridden in derived class. So this is the definition. If you have an abstract class, if you have abstract method, then that method must be overridden in derived class. So this is exactly opposite to the final method. Final method cannot be overridden, whereas abstract method must be overridden in derived class. Okay. All right. And similarly, if you have abstract class, okay, this class, sorry. This class is only for inheritance. All right. So you cannot actually, we cannot create object of abstract class. This is clear. Okay. Abstract classes are only for inheritance. So you can say that abstract class is just opposite to final class. In final class, we cannot inherit the base class, that class. And in abstract class, the abstract class, you cannot create object of abstract class. So how to use abstract class? We extend the abstract class. Okay. Guys, am I audible? Okay. All right. So fine. So we cannot create object of an abstract class. So let's cover up, this part first about abstract. Let me create a new project for day 9. Guys, I'm creating, a new project for every topic. But in your case, while working into a real time onto a project, we don't create a project every day. We will be using the same project throughout, that same project. So let's say day 9, the name I want to give is abstract keyword. Okay. So, okay, the project is created and it is time to create a class. New class. I will give some name to the class as shape. I think Raj's favorite example, right? He has been asking for this example from a long time. So yeah, it is the day we will be taking the shapes example. Close other tabs. Close other project, undeleted project. Perfect. So I have a class shape, and this is just like a normal class, public class shape, and you can have actually data members and method, the methods into this class. Fine, just like a normal other class. And let's create another class. The name is giving main class. In that main class, let's write main method, main control space enter. So it's public static void main string args and argument. So there I will create object of shape. S is equal to new shape. Okay, simply. If you have any method in that shape, you can simply say that s dot, you can call any method. That method is actually coming from a shape class. All these methods are coming from object, and object is the ultimate parent of any class. So these methods are directly available in your shape class. Let's go back. Okay. But guys, can anyone tell me what we do with the shape? What we do with the shape, Let's talk about the methods, What we do with shape. What we can actually do with the shape. Okay, I see one answer. That's a draw a shape. I don't know what is NS, Raj. Calculate area, very good. So let me write all those methods here. So it's draw shape, okay, with void return type. Then void. I'm talking about shape, Raj, your favorite example, not the shape. So void shape and calculate area. So these are the few methods I have written here, okay. Find perimeter, yeah, makes sense. Void, oops, get, oops, get perimeter. Okay, area is done. Circumference and perimeter are almost same. So draw any shape and perfect. All right, so I have these 3 methods written, and there I will say just print drawing shape. Okay, I'm just printing drawing shape, calculating area, calculating area of shape, calculating perimeter of shape. I hope it is clear. We can define it in different size. Okay, that's a different story. Aparna will discuss that. So I have some methods. These are instance method, and I have this instance method written in a shape. So in main class, I can actually create object of a shape and just call these methods. So let's say shape dot calculate area, shape dot draw shape, and something like that. You can simply run it. Run as a Java application, and you can see that these lines are printed. But guys, tell me, I wanted to write a formula to calculate area. Okay, I want to calculate an area, and to calculate area, I want a formula. So tell me, guys, which formula should I write here? Which formula we should write here? Pi r square. Prashant is saying pi r square, but pi r square is for a circle, not for a shape, right? Then which formula I should write? L into B, but this L into B formula is for rectangle, not for a shape. I'm talking about the shape. So we can't write pi r square directly, or we cannot write L into B directly. It's because the reason is how to calculate area or which formula to use for calculating area. It depends on what type of shape it is. The question is which shape, for which shape you are calculating area. So it depends on what type of a shape. So to be very frank, shape, it is just an abstract concept. It is not a real object. Okay, so real object of a shape could be, could be a real type of a shape could be circle, rectangle, the octagon, polygon. These are the different kind of, a triangle. These are the different kind of a shapes. But if you only say shape, by saying shape, we get an idea that we can draw it, we can calculate the area of shape, and we can get a perimeter. We can calculate a perimeter of that shape. But you cannot 100% you cannot definitely tell that, okay, this is how you will draw it. This is how you will calculate the area. This is how you will calculate the perimeter without knowing what type of shape you want to draw. Okay, so we will be using inheritance. Okay, so we'll be using an inheritance. I will create some other classes. Let's say circle, extends, circle, extends, shape. I have one class circle extends shape, Then another class I will write rectangle, and that class is also extending shape, and I will create one more class that is triangle, and which is extending shape, S capital. Okay, now go to the main class. Now instead of saying shape S is equal to new shape, I will say rectangle is equal to new rectangle. REC is equal to new rectangle. Okay, so this is a rectangle which extends a shape class, and I will say rectangle dot, again these methods are coming from where shape class, right? And now I am saying draw shape, or let's say calculate area. Tell me guys, is this calculate area, let me correct mistake. I actually forgot to save this files. Okay, come back, sorry. So rectangle rec is equal to new rectangle. So I said rec dot calculate area. Now guys tell me which formula I should use. I should be using which formula to draw to calculate a rectangle? It is just L into B, that is height into width, okay? Length into breadth, right? So this calculate area method, if I just simply run this code, you can see that calculating area of shape is printed. But is it really using the L into B formula? No. So what I will do is I will go to rectangle, and there I should be overriding which method? Which method I should be overriding? Calculate area. Okay, and there I will say L star B all right. Okay, so let's come back to the main class and now run. Previously it was giving me calculating area of a shape, even though I'm saying rectangle object. Specifically I have a rectangle object, but still it was saying me calculating area of a shape. But now I'm overriding the calculate area method. So it is saying that calculate area of rectangle using L into B formula. So which is actually right, this code is actually right. Now I will similarly, let's try to draw calculate a area of circle. Circle C is equal to new circle C dot calculate area. If you run this code, this calculate area will be called from the shape class, which has calculating area of a shape line. But I don't want this method to be printed, I don't want this method to be called. I want that circle specific calculate area method. So let's go to the circle and then override calculate area method. I'm just writing a printf, a simple public static void printf. Println, sorry, system.println. So calculating area of circle, okay, the formula is pi r into r. So r into r. Fine. Now come back to the main class and try to run it. So both the time, for rectangle and circle, it is giving me right. But what will happen, if you forget to override that method? If you forget to override that method, let's take example of triangle. T dot. If you forget to override a method, this calculate area method in a triangle, then this is going to call the method which is there in the shape class, and which doesn't make sense, right? Is it logical to call the method from a shape class? No, right? Because there is shape class is not existing. Shape class is just an abstract term, and actually the circle, rectangle, triangle, these are the different shapes which are existing. So to make this mandatory to override the base class method into derived class, we use the abstract. So going to the shape class, okay, what I will do is I will declare abstract. I will add abstract keyword to all the method. Abstract, abstract, abstract. Okay, I have added abstract method to all of here. So if you say method is abstract, then you cannot give this body. you cannot give this curly bracket, opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. So you just have to say simply semicolon because it's abstract method. Okay. All right. So I don't know. I'm just deleting all this method because this is abstract, right? I don't want the real kind of method. Now there is a rule. If your class is having at least one abstract method, if your class is having at least one abstract method, there are three abstract methods in my class. So that class has to be declared as abstract. Okay. Again, I'm repeating. If any class is having one or more than one abstract method in that class, then the class has to be defined as abstract class. Okay. If you're not declaring that as an abstract class, then it will give you error. Now I made this class abstract and all these three methods are abstract. To the left hand side, okay, you can see the error is coming for circle, rectangle and the triangle. Okay. I will tell you why there are errors, but okay, let's do one thing. I will not make all these three methods abstract. I will only make calculate area method abstract because I have overridden this calculate area method, and let's make that class as a abstract. So as you can see, this is a shape class. Shape class is having two normal method. Okay, this is just a normal method. This one is also a normal method, but there is one abstract method. An abstract method do not have a body, and this is the abstract method. So the rule is abstract method must be overridden in derived classes. All derived classes actually. Okay. Okay. So if I do that and go to the circle class, there is no error because the class area is overridden. Calculate area is the method which I must have to override, and you can see that it is overridden. Now in rectangle class, again you will not see any error in rectangle class because rectangle extends shape. So rectangle should implement, this is known as overriding the method. So I'm overriding the calculate area method. But the problem is in a triangle class. So triangle class extends shape, but we have not written a code that will override calculate area method. So if you see this error, the type triangle must implement the inherited abstract method shape.calculate area. So we have to implement this shape.calculate area. In a simple another word, you can say that we have to override the calculate area method. Okay, but specifically in case of abstract method, we say implementation because implementation, it means giving the body to that empty method. So abstract methods are those empty method, and we are giving the body to that empty method by overriding it. So the solution is very easy. I will just say add unimplemented method, and you can see that method is added and the error is now gone. I'm just writing system.println. Calculate area for triangle is one by 2, that is 0.5 into what was that? Height into base h star b. Okay, let's take this simple formula. All right, so I hope you got the concept of abstract method. If you declare a method as an abstract, then you don't have to give the curly brackets, simply say that semicolon. So this is an abstract method. Abstract method is also known as empty method. This is an empty method. Why it is empty? Because it doesn't have a body, it doesn't have implementation. These brackets, the code which is written in this bracket is known as an implementation. So this method do not have an implementation, but all the classes which are extending shape must override the calculate area method. Okay, the implementation, all these three child classes must implement the calculate area method. That is one. Second is, if your class is having at least one abstract method, then that class becomes abstract. Okay, and that class has to be declared as an abstract. And if you have an abstract class, that means right, you cannot create object of an abstract class. Let me show you an example. You cannot create object of an abstract class. Let's try to create object of shape s is equal to new shape, and this will give you error saying that cannot instantiate the type shape because it is abstract, right? You cannot instantiate it, you cannot create the instance. Okay, fine. So this is abstract class. You cannot create the object of an abstract class. You just simply call the static method using class name dot method name, or abstract classes are only for inheritance. These are inherited in some classes, but at the same time, the abstract methods which are there in the abstract class must be implemented, must be overridden in the derived class. I hope it is clear. Let's have Q&A session. Guys, please ask me questions if you have any on the concepts, abstract classes. Abstract class or abstract method, and what is abstract method? What will happen if you declare a method as abstract? What will happen if you declare a method as abstract and if you don't implement a method in a derived class? Please ask me questions, guys. Abstract, it's a keyword. So I already explained you. You just have to read this two line. If you declare method as abstract, the method has to be overridden in derived class. And abstract class, this I will tell you what is abstract class. Abstract class means this is a class only for inheritance. You cannot create object of abstract class, and the rule is if you have at least one abstract method in a class, then we need to declare that class as abstract. Okay, that is a simple rule. Implements means with body, Prashant. Implements means with body, giving a body. Let me check the questions. Why abstraction required? Abstraction is required. Let's say there are many different types. Most of the time, abstraction used to define the type. So there are different types of a shape. Let's say circle, triangle, and that way. So if there is a scenario where you wanted to have different types of something, then we go for abstraction. So for example, in case of, some of you might be knowing the basic WebDriver. So in case of like Selenium, we write driver.findElement by.id. So that by is actually an abstract class, and it is extended in some other classes. So, for the different type of locator, we are using a by. So whenever there is a type, you can actually make use of abstraction. What will happen if you have a static method? Nothing is going to happen. If a method is static, it will be bound to the class. And how will you call that static method? Simply write class name and the method name. That's it. But right, static method cannot access the instance member of the class. Just make note of that. There is another question from Prashant. Implement means with body or just declaration? So when I said implementing, it means giving a body, giving a definition to your empty method. Okay. So with the curly braces, you have to write a code. What is access specifier for abstract method by default? You can give any access, by default is the default. There is no any relation between abstract and the access specifier. Access specifier works like a normal method, or works like a normal way for instance member, static member, as well as the abstract and non-abstract. Okay, how abstract is opposite to final? Raj, I think I already explained this thing. If you know what is final method and what is abstract method, you should be able to get the answer automatically. If you are clear with what is final method and what is the abstract method, you will automatically get the answer. The same is with what is final class and what is abstract class. If you are clear with this concept, you will automatically get your answer. Varsha, is abstract class needs to be implemented in every class? In every derived class, Varsha. Okay, abstract. Oh, okay. No, her question is different. The question is abstract class need to be derived in any class? You mean, right? Let's say if I'm declaring an abstract class, okay, and if you don't extend it, that is fine, right? Let's say I have a sample abstract class, okay, and I just declared abstract, abstract. So this is abstract public class and this is some class, and you can use it anytime when you want. You can use this class for inheritance. You can have a static method inside it. Let's say public void static show value, or let's say say hi, and there I'm writing system.println hello public static void. Guys, make sure that you don't add anything in between return type and the method name. This has to be combined. You can alternately change this public static public, that is okay, but you cannot mix, you cannot add anything in between return type and the method name. So yeah, this is a method you can call. Simply just write the class name and the method name. Raj's question, abstract means we hide data, right? So is this class used to create secure app? Yes, Raj, partially you are right. Abstract means we hide data. So Raj, do you know the basic Selenium? I can give you one example, if you know basic Selenium then. So for example, we write by dot id, we also write by dot name, right, in the Selenium script. What is this it is internally doing? Which object is created when you say by dot id? Do you know that? By dot id, by is a class, id is a static method, and we are writing class name dot id. That means calling a method, and that static method internally creates some objects of a class which actually extends the by. So this is all hidden. You don't know anything about it, right? So that is just one example how abstract can be hiding the internal implementation. Yeah, I mean, Raj, you are telling me the use of what is by. I'm not talking about the use. I'm talking about the internal implementation. Okay, how to use the other methods of abstract class which are not abstract, as we cannot create object? Very good question, Vijay. So if you have a normal methods, let's go to the shape class. Now see, we have a draw shape. This is a normal method. We have a draw void get parameter normal method. This method will automatically go in the derived classes, and you are free to call these methods. For example, circle c dot draw shape, you can call, these methods can be called on the child class object. These methods can be called on the child class object. Any other questions? I hope I answered your query, Vijay. But you can, you can create the child class object and then just call that method. Can we use abstract with variable? No, you cannot use it. Abstract keyword can only be used with class or method. Any other question? Guys, is this topic is clear or it is very difficult or something? Because as I said earlier as well, we are day by day, we are moving to, next level into programming. The things will get started difficult, but if you pay attention from the beginning, if you don't miss the track and you cover up all these sessions every day, then it should not be very difficult. Be honest, guys. You can give your feedback. Is it difficult or easy? Or if it is not clear, please ask me questions. I would be happy to explain you again. Okay, the question is, instead of derived class variable, we can also use super. Derived class variable, we can also use super. I didn't get your question, Vijay. Chandrasekhar, can I create object like shape is equal to new rectangle? Yes, very good question. You can actually create shape, let's say some shape, s is equal to new rectangle. Okay, and I can call s dot, let's say, calculate area. Now guys, tell me which method will be called on this. If you say, if you mouse over here and you can see that this method is getting called from shape, but we already discussed about dynamic dispatch, right? So if you run this program, read the last line. Let's say, check the last line. It is actually calling the method from the rectangle class, because the real object is rectangle, and the calculate area from the shape class is overridden in rectangle. So the rectangles method will get a call. Okay. I hope I answered your query, Chandrasekhar. Can you please show implementation of calc area methods? Sure, Raj, I will do that. Calc area method, this is implemented in circle class. So this is a circle class. Then this is rectangle class. Okay, I'm just printing that calculating area of rectangle. And this is a triangle class which is implementing. It means overriding. Okay, don't get confused in between. So implementing, it means overriding. Implementing, it means providing definition to the empty method. Okay, so for that we use implementing word. Okay. Yeah, Shahnawaz, you have a question? You just said rectangles. Okay, instead of c dot draw shape, can we also use super dot draw shape? No, we can't, right? You can't use super dot draw shape. So let's go back. First thing, in main class you cannot use a draw keyword. You cannot use a super keyword in your main class. If you want to use a super keyword, that means it will be referring to the parent class. So for a main class, the parent class is object. So if you say super keyword, then it is going to refer to the object class. But let's say if I'm going to here, okay, there is a circle area, and inside I'm just saying super dot calculate area. As you can see that you cannot call the method from here, super dot calc area. Okay, you cannot call this method. The error, you can see that cannot directly invoke the abstract method calc area for the type shape. Perfect. So yeah, any other questions? Using a shape single method, can we print all area of shape? Using shape single method, can we print all area? I didn't get that. Raj, always try to type in just one question. Why are you splitting your one question into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 6 questions. I didn't get that, what you're trying to say. Okay, no problem. You can reframe the sentence and post it again. Alright. So yeah, you cannot do this. You can't call a abstract method. And I hope abstract keyword is clear to you guys. If abstract clear keyword is not clear, please leave a message in chat window. I'm still waiting, guys. If it is not clear, just leave a message in chat window. Using one calc area method, can we print all shape area? But will you be having, see, how many objects you will have, Raj? How many objects you have? How many objects you have, Raj? Please answer. Let's say you have 3 objects, and you wanted to call shape.calculate area. So let me tell you how it could be done. For that matter, I will use array, Let me create another main class. Let's say example 2. So I have a shape variable, okay, s is equal to, okay, it is just a declaration of a shape variable. All right, so I'm saying s is equal to new circle. Okay, I'm saying s is equal to new circle. Let's call the method s dot calculate area. Now I will say s is equal to new rectangle and then calculate s dot calculate area. This will, this method is going to call the method from the rectangle class. Now I am saying s is equal to new triangle. Okay, and if I say s dot calculate area, this line will call the calculate area method from the triangle, the same variable, but you can call all these 3 methods, but it depends on what, which object is stored into s. So based on that, it will call that respective method. Okay. All right, there is one question. Can abstract class have final methods? Why can't, right? Abstract class can have a final method, right? So let's go to the abstract class. We had a shape abstract class. Okay, I don't want anyone to override this get parameter method. By making final method, I'm restricting someone else, some other classes or the derived classes to override it. So I'm making this method as a final. So this method cannot be overridden in the derived class. So yes, it is possible you can have final methods in your abstract class. But the real question is, you should be asking questions this way, can we have final abstract method? So, this is a nice question. We cannot have final and abstract together. If you try to have final and abstract together, you can see that the error is abstract method, can only set a visibility modifier, one of public or protected, but just ignore that error. Actually, you cannot have final and abstract keyword both at a time. Let's say you are having abstract class and also you are saying final abstract class, that will give you error. You cannot have both at a time. The class could be either final or either it will be abstract, okay, or none of both. So, oh, sorry. So you can't have both at a time. But remember, abstract class can have normal method, can have final method, or any other, static method, non-static method, anything is fine. I hope you got the answer, Shanawaz. Any other questions, guys? Okay, that was really a good question. Any other question? Can I consider that you got the concept about the abstract keyword and how it is used? Can I say that, okay? Yes, Raj, please ask question. Okay. Let's wait for Raj to type the question. Okay, the question is from Shrikant. What if we have not override the abstract method? Then it will give you error. If you're not overriding abstract method in a derived class, then it will give you error. Now, for example, go to circle. Let's say I'm not writing this method. So you will see an error, right? Saying that circle must implement the inherited abstract class, and which abstract method, which method? The calculate area. So you will get error if you're not overriding it and only inheriting the abstract class. Okay, what is the question? Suppose private method or data member is in abstract class. Private method is in, okay. Can we call this in derived class? Okay. You cannot directly call. Okay, this is not about abstract or anything. This is just a normal question. Guys, you tell me, you have, okay, a normal base class. Okay, it is containing private method. Okay, there is a derived class extended from base class. Can we call private method from base class in derived class? You answer this question, guys. I will leave this question up to you. Yeah, the answer is very easy, right? No, everybody says no, because private member can only be accessible within the same class. It cannot be used in the derived class or in any other classes. Perfect, thank you. I hope you got your answer. There is nothing to do with abstract or non-abstract. Okay, let's talk about next question. I see there is a question. All the child classes have to implement all abstract method in that respective parent. Yes, Vaishali, you are absolutely right. So let's say there are two abstract method in your base class. The derived class must implement both the abstract method, all the abstract methods which are coming from base class. No, Ashwini, you cannot have abstract constructor. There is a question from Chandrasekhar. If we do not want to override the method into child class, then we can declare the child class as abstract. Am I right? Yes, Chandrasekhar, absolutely right. Okay. Now, let's say, guys, I have an abstract class A, which has two abstract method. Okay. There is another class, abstract class B, which is extends class A, and there I'm writing. Do I need to override the method here? Do I need to provide the definition to the abstract methods which are coming from a base class? Do I need to really? So no need to provide definition to abstract methods coming from base class. Okay. Yes, Shahnawaz. Alright, so no need to provide definition to abstract methods coming from base class, because this class itself is an abstract class. Okay, now what I will do is I will write three abstract methods. Okay, three new abstract methods into class B. Okay, class A has two abstract methods, class B has three abstract methods, and now there is a normal class C extends B. Okay, now how many methods should I override here? For how many methods I should provide a definition or implementation? Okay, the answer is right, 5, because two methods are coming from class A. Those two methods goes in class B. So class B has two methods plus three methods. So total 5 abstract methods, and all these 5 abstract methods has to be implemented, overridden in class C. Thank you. I hope I can confirm that you got the concept. All right, thank you guys. Thank you very much for all your questions. I'm really glad you asked these many questions. Okay, so we are done with the abstract methods and abstract classes topic. The next topic is interfaces. Okay, but before that, I have one more question for you guys. How many classes I can extend in one class? How many classes I can extend in one class? Now, for example, oops. Now, for example, there is a class person. Okay, person has string name. There is another class student, employee, employee. Okay, employee has empid. Okay, so there are two classes, and employee must be extends person. Okay, is this is clear, guys? Just a two line of a code, two classes actually, class person with name and class employee which extends person. So if I say extends person, that means employee class will have name as well as employee ID. But what I want is, I want this employee class to have, the same employee is actually studying something. Let's say he is preparing for his post graduation or maybe higher studies or something like that. He is actually he is actually doing a study. So doing a study, it is a property of a student, right? So as the employee is doing a study, that means you can refer that employee as a student also. So in that case, I'm writing a class student, okay, with a method do study. And I cannot say that, right? I want that do study method in employee. So you cannot say that employee extends person and student. This is not valid, because a student is also extends person. Now student is extending person, employee is also extending person, so name will come here also. Name will also go in student employee. But if you try to combine student, person and student, both the objects, both the classes has name. Person has a name, student has a name, and both that names will come into employee and will create a conflict. So one employee will have two names unnecessarily. So this is known as a diamond problem, and that is the reason this is known as actually multiple inheritance, and this is creates a problem, diamond problem. That problem is known as diamond problem, and multiple inheritance creates a problem known as a diamond problem. So here there will be a two duplicate variable, name variable, and that employee will have two names, and it might be having a different values as well. So which is not the real-time scenario. That is the reason this is completely removed. You cannot have multiple inheritance in Java. So let me delete that. So how to achieve this? I want that employee to have do study method. So what we do is, okay, even actually, you just want to have this method overridden here, right? So we want that method to be overridden here. So what we do is, we create this class as abstract has to be written first, then class student extends person. Okay, do study is also abstract, and in employee class there is a person. Same times you cannot write actually, let's say I wanted to have do study method here also, but the problem is we cannot two classes in one class. So this is not possible. You cannot write student because of the concept. we cannot extend two classes in one class. That's the restriction we have. So the workaround is, instead of abstract class, it will be interface. Instead of abstract class, it will be interface student. Interface cannot extend the class. So interface student, and there will be an abstract method do study. So let's say if this is interface, so you don't have to declare abstract. All the methods in an interface are by default abstract. You don't have to write abstract keyword. Okay, fine. What I will do is, I will take another or maybe the same simple example into Eclipse instead of just discussing theoretically. Let me create a new project and let's discuss interfaces again from scratch. So I'm creating a new Java project. Day 9 interfaces example. So I have class student. I will say student or iStudent. iStudent denotes this is the interface. I will say finish. I don't want this as a class. I want this as a interface. So interface is a keyword. There is a class person. Okay. There is a class person, and there is third class the class name I will give as employee. Oops, this is package name, my bad. Class name is employee. Finish. So I have employee class, person class. Now the relation between employee and person is employee extends person. Okay, but you cannot write extends person comma student. So that is the reason I created an interface, not a class. Okay, and interfaces contains all can contain only abstract method. You cannot write a normal method in an interface, whereas in abstract class you can have a normal method as well. So let me write that public void do study. Okay, and semicolon. Do not write the curly bracket. So what I will do is I will just mouse over on this method. What you see here, can you see that A, capital A, which is written here? That capital A stands for this is a abstract method. Okay, so even though if you write abstract keyword, that should work. Okay, but even though if you don't write abstract keyword, this method is still a abstract method only, and I want this method to be overridden, to be implemented into employee. So I will say employee extends person implements iStudent. Okay, so when I say implements iStudent, that means this class must provide definition, must provide implementation to all the abstract methods which are coming from the interface. So let's say add unimplemented method. So as you can see that I added do study. Learning domain, okay, or studying domain. Domain, just printing something, Guys, forget about diamond problem. Okay, don't worry about that. You don't need to know what is diamond problem and why interfaces. Just ignore it. I don't want to really make things complicated. Let's keep it simple. Don't go into that direction. If you really want more details on a diamond problem, you can obviously Google and find out more information. But if I try to explain that, it will create a confusion, and the topic will get more complex. So it's better not to touch that part. Okay, guys, this is clear, guys? What is interface? So interface, it is like abstract method, but the differences are abstract method can contain normal method. Interfaces can only contain abstract method. You cannot have a normal method. Let's say public void hi. Okay, I tried to write a normal method, and it will say that abstract methods do not specify a body, because this method is considered as abstract by default, even though if you don't say anything. Okay, and now as you can see, iStudent has a hi method. Okay, now this is abstract method. Go to employee class. Employee class will start giving you error saying that there is no definition, there is no implementation provided for hi method. Okay, please implement that method. So there is a solution. Add in unimplemented method. It will override that hi method. But another is make employee as abstract. If I make employee class as abstract, oops, what is this? If I make employee class abstract, then you don't need to implement. What is the error? Syntax error. Oh, okay, public has to be first, is it? No, there is something wrong. Oh, I forgot to write a class word. Public abstract class. Okay, so public abstract class and the class name. So this is abstract class. So you don't need to declare, or you don't need to provide a definition. You don't need to implement the abstract class, abstract method. You can just leave it as it is. But in the derived classes of employee, you must have to implement all the abstract methods which are coming from all the parent. Okay, I don't want this employee to be abstract. So let's go to iStudent and remove this hi method that we wrote. So that should solve the problem. You can see that errors are gone. Okay, yes guys, any questions? Please ask me questions, guys. I'm waiting. Is interfaces are clear, or is it difficult? Interface is nothing but only abstract methods will be there in interface. Guys, interface can also have data members. Okay, interfaces can have a data member, but only static and final. Interfaces can only contain static and final data member. You cannot have normal data member. Now for example, if I am saying int no semicolon, so even though if you are writing int no semicolon, see, it is giving me error saying that blank final field no may not have initialized. So it is saying that it is final. Okay, why it is saying final? Let's see, let's initialize it. I'm initializing with 10. Now you see that what is written? S and F. That S stands for static, F stands for final. So even though it's like, you may look like, this code may look like a normal variable declaration, int no equal to 10, but this is not a normal variable, this is a static variable. So even you can actually write static final int no. This is actually the same line. Okay, so even though if you don't write static final, still that no is static final only. Okay, even for interfaces, the method must be overridden in derived class. For interfaces, we don't say derived class, interfaces are implemented. So if your interface is having abstract method, see, this is interface, it is having abstract method, and this interface is implemented in employee class. That means employee class must provide definition to the abstract method, all the abstract method. That means do study in my case, there is just one abstract method. Is that clear? Guys, please reply if you have any questions, or if this topic is difficult, or if you want me to repeat it again, I can do that. Okay, one question from Vijay. If we have two interfaces, can we use both in one class using implements or not? Yes, Vijay. In the use of interfaces is that only. Let's say the employee is a student as well as, oops, my bad. Let's go back. I'm creating another interface. Teacher, okay. There is an interface teacher, and what teacher does is, teacher actually, this is class now. I don't want a class. I want interface. So I have interface teacher, and in that interface teacher, I want to say that what teacher do, teacher actually teach. Void teach method is there. Okay, this is without, you don't have to say abstract keyword. Still, this method is abstract. Okay, and an employee can be a student, or he can also possess the properties of teacher. So I will say I teacher. So employee extends person, okay, but can implement the properties of I student and I teacher. So when I say I student comma I teacher, that times you have to give definition to both, or all the abstract methods which are coming into this class. So the method teach is coming from I teacher, the method do study is coming from I student, and both the method has to be implemented. We need to override and with body. I hope it is clear now. Yes, Ranjit, I will share the code. Let me see if there is any question I missed. Hey Vijay, is it clear now? Okay, there is a question from Anonymous. Okay, got it, should be implemented. Thank you. Can a class implement more interfaces? Yes, just now we have saw example. One class can implement multiple interfaces. The reason is all these interfaces will have empty method, right? And only the thing is we have to provide the definition, we have to provide the implementation to all the empty abstract method. That's it, So it doesn't create any kind of a conflict. So yes, it is possible. You can implement multiple interfaces at a time. What is next question? Can you please share all the program? Yes, I will do that, Ranjit. Can an interface extend another interface? Okay, very good question. I haven't actually touched that topic yet, but let's talk about that. Now interface inheritance. Okay, interface inheritance. So my question is it possible extend interface? Okay, there is a question from Srikant. What if method names are same in two interfaces? Okay, Srikant, see, there are two method names, but in the derived, in the implementing class, there will be only one method definition, right? So on that same method will be called, even though there are two abstract methods are coming, but actual method is only one with a definition. So there is no again confusion. Okay. Okay, the question is it possible to extend interfaces? What is your answer, Raj? Okay, Shrikant say, oh, okay, Vrushali say no, Ranjit say no. Looks like nobody wants to give the answer. I said 27 people are online and nobody wants to give answer. So Ranjit said no, Vishwa said no, Prashant no. So actually, yes, it is possible, but this is like the conditions apply star, but conditions apply. The condition is only interface can other interface. Okay, this is the condition. Only interface can extend other interface. So yeah, extending interface is possible, but only interface can extend other interface. Classes cannot extend interfaces. Make a note of this. Yes, Chandrasekhar, you are right. All right, hope this will help. Now, why we use extending interface? So let's say example, I have interface A, okay, which has method 1, okay, one interface empty method, or let's create 2-3 methods actually. Void 1, 2, 3. Okay, there are 3 empty method. Let's create another interface, class. No, not class. It's a B interface I want. I will say finish. Change that class to interface. Interface B. I will say method 4, method 5. Okay. Void and extends. Now you can see that one interface can extend another interface, so extends A. So actually interface B will have this 2 method plus the 3 method which are coming from the parent interface. So interface B will have a total 5 abstract methods. I hope it is clear now. Interface can also extend classes. No, you cannot extend class in an interface. This is not possible. For example, person is a class, and if you try to extend person as a class, this will give you error saying that type person cannot be super interface of B, because it's a class. So let me correct that mistake. Okay. So interfaces cannot inherit or cannot extend class. Inherited interface must need implement in class. See, I have an interface, interface B, but if you want to use this interface, you have to implement this class, this interface in some class. If you want to use this interface, that way. But right now I'm not using that. Interface can also extend classes. No, okay, I think I answered that question. All right, any other question, guys? So guys, always remember abstract and interface. These 2 topics are very important. All the complex object-oriented programming concepts, this is all based on the abstract and interfaces. If you find, if you're not getting this concept at this stage, you might face a problem in future while learning the advanced concepts or topic. So that is the reason I'm again saying you. So if you think that this topic is little bit difficult, please watch this video again and again till the time you are not getting clear with what is abstract class, what is abstract method, and what is interface. What are the what is the difference between abstract class and interface? That is also one of the popular interview question. So difference between abstract class and the interface. So abstract class can have normal method as well as abstract method. Interface can only contain the abstract method. Abstract class can contain instance member. Okay, instance member means non-static. But in interface you can only have static member. Okay, abstract class can have variables also, can have constants and variable as well. But in case of interface can only have final variable. You cannot have normal variable in interface. It has to be final, and not just a final, it has to be static final. Okay, so these are the few differences. And one more thing, okay, one more question for you guys. Is it mandatory to have abstract method in abstract class? Yes guys, tell me the answer for this. Is it mandatory to have abstract method, at least one abstract method in abstract class? Is it? Okay, I see mixed kind of response. The answer is no, it is not at all mandatory. You can actually declare an abstract class with all the normal methods or a static method. It depends on you. See, I'm creating an abstract class. Okay, the class name I gave is abstract class, and it is not having any this is normal class. I will make it abstract. abstract. See, I declared the class as abstract, but it is not having any abstract class. Still, it is fine. There is no compilation error or any problem. You can have a normal methods. Let's say public, say hi, public void. This is instance method, a normal method. You can have static method also. Let's say print public static void print. So you can have instance method, you can have normal static method, and there is no abstract method in the abstract class. Still, it is fine. It is fine. By making abstract class, you cannot. By making abstract class, it means this class can only be used in inheritance. You cannot simply directly create object of this class. You add that restriction. Okay. What is PIMT? I didn't get that question, Vaishali. Okay. I hope this is clear to you guys. What is abstract class? What is abstract method? The interfaces as well. Oh yeah, point. Okay. So there is no point to have abstract class. You can use abstract class, if you do not want that class to be inherited. Oh, sorry. If you want that class only to be inherited, and you don't want, someone to create the object of this class directly. Okay. Yes, but Raj is right. What Raj is saying is, if you have an abstract, let's say I don't want to make this class as abstract, and I'm writing an abstract method inside that class. Let's say void A. If you want to have an abstract method into a class, then that class has to be abstract. Okay, that class has to be abstract. So quick fix is there. Make this type as abstract. So this class has to be abstract if you want to write a abstract method. Oh, sorry, abstract method should have semicolon, not bracket. Okay. So if there is at least one abstract method, the class has to be abstract. So that is the rule. Okay, I hope I made my point. Perfect. So thank you everyone. Thanks for attending the session. Thanks for attending the session. Hope to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.